Welcome back. So in the last calculation, we went from inches to centimeters. Now we're going to look at using molecular prefixes to go to base units. You need to know what a prefix is and what a base unit is in order to do this. They have you in virtually every physics, chemistry, many mathematics courses memorize prefixes. Prefixes have a little letter in front, and it might represent centi, it might represent deci if it's a D. It can represent micro if it's a little mu, or sometimes MC they use in healthcare. So you will have a base unit next to it. The base unit is typically meters, grams, liters. Notice that none of these things, meters, grams, liters, has a prefix in front of it. So if you see a C in front of meter, or you see a D in front of meter, you see a letter in front, that's your prefix. So I've written the prefix for centimeters two different ways, which you can write any prefix two different ways. I wrote the 1 next to the prefix, because you can see the CM here, so the C is the prefix, centi. And then it's equal to, and there's millions of charts all over the internet like this, and also probably one in your textbook. It's equal to 10 to the negative 2 meters. That means 1/100th of a meter, or 0.01 meters. It all means the same thing. The second way to write this, and it would also be equal, is to say there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So a meter stick is about the length of my board here, and if we broke it into 100 pieces, it would be about this big. About the size of a dime is a centimeter. Because there are two ways to write it, so you could write 100 centimeters equals 1 meter and be correct, or you could write 1 centimeter equals 10 to the negative 2 meters and be correct. I usually ask that students just choose to write the 1 next to the prefix every time when they're just learning. That way you don't accidentally write the wrong number next to the wrong unit. So write the 1 next to the one that has a prefix. This one has a centi, so it gets the 1. And then the number that you memorize that goes with the prefix will go with the base unit. Again, the base unit has nothing in front of it. It's just meter or grams or liters. It's alone. So we're going to use 1 centimeter equals 10 to the negative 2 meters. And we're going to answer the question, how many meters in 112 centimeters? Just like every other problem, you hone in on the thing that has only 1 unit. And these particular problems, it's easier because they've only given you 1 number. But in many problems, they give you multiple numbers, and you have to find the number that has only 1 unit, and that's where you start solving your math problems. So you do 112 centimeters. Do the train track method, and then without even thinking about it, you can write centimeters on the bottom. You know that centimeters has to go on the bottom because you have it right here on the top, and they have to cancel out. And then they're asking how many meters, so we're going to put meters right here on top, because again, whatever your last unit is, it's written on top, that will be your final unit. Now I'm going to use my equivalents. Again, either one of these would give me the correct answer, but as a beginning student, I'm just going to choose the prefix. The 1 goes next to the prefix, and that way I have one way of getting it right every time. The prefix that I learned that goes with a centimeter is 10 to the negative 2. And then when you put this into your calculator, it would be 112 times, because it's on top, 10 to the negative 2. So what that means is it's the same thing as 112 times 0.01. And so you will get, for your answer, 1.12 meters. Because centimeters will cancel out, and whatever is left on top, that's going to be your final unit. And again, that's what they were looking for. Notice that this has 1 sig fig in this conversion, and 10 to the negative 2, usually 10 to an exponent's not considered a sig fig at all. But it's always the sig figs that you start with, which in this case was 3, that are the sig figs that you end with when you're doing conversions, because conversions always involve multiplication and division, and those always involve the answer with the least amount of sig figs. And they only use what you begin with or what you measured for your sig figs for your final answer. These, in dimensional analysis, equivalents or conversion units, they're considered infinite, so they will never limit your sig figs. So the correct answer is 1.12 meters for this one.